Welcome back, sports fans. With the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs having just been completed, I thought this would be a good time to talk about sports in a bubble just a little bit. I'm really amazed so far, though I didn't think that the NHL and the NBA season ought to be completed, by what I have not heard about so far with both sports, and that is I haven't heard about one coronavirus case. Not one player, coach, referee, anybody, or official linesman, anybody getting it. And I think that is remarkable. And I think because of that, it has very much been able to be focused on the sport itself. And unlike baseball or college football or the like, you don't hear the talk of the coronavirus and that like you do with those sports. Or to put it another way, within the NHL and NBA bubble, it's basketball and hockey, or hockey and basketball respectively, that are taking center stage, as it ought to be, and not a disease. So that I do commend Gary Bettman, especially so far. I'm going to hold off on commending Adam Silver because the first round of the NBA playoffs has not been completed yet. But with that having been said, I think it's a remarkable job what has occurred so far. Whether or not it continues, and I think in the NHL it definitely will, and I think you're going to see a champion in hockey for sure, and you're going to see the lifting of the Stanley Cup in 2020, which I didn't think was possible, and I didn't think ought to occur. I do think you're going to see it. There's no reason for me to think otherwise. And the reason why I say that is because now you have fewer teams than you had before, and you will have fewer teams with the NBA than you had before, provided that there aren't any outbreaks of this coronavirus that occurred. Now, the NBA is handling this a little bit differently than the NHL, and it will be interesting to see. But to me, of all the things I could imagine that would be a feel-good story to end a show with, I think that's it right there. And I think it's a good one. And not only that, but I would say from what I've been able to tell, the hockey has been good so far, and certainly from the highlights I've seen, so has the basketball. So we'll go from there with it. Now, I did say I was going to wrap the show up on that note. However, I do have one more segment because there is one more thing I have to talk about that kind of eluded me, and I didn't otherwise mention it. And I will have details of that in the next segment. Stay tuned on Ed's Sports Channel.